In the case of the first meeting I ever went to, mothers of men who had been tortured right here in Chicago, been forced to confess to crimes they didn't commit, and then who ended up on death row. And I'll never forget, the kind of palpable pain coming from the mothers of these men, who were talking about their children. They're describing the phone calls from the police stations, and they're saying, Mom, I feel like they're going to kill me here. And it was just horrifying, and it was the kind of thing that, just, you had no choice but to get involved. You had no choice but to tell the person next, someone else tomorrow that story. And Sandra Reed, who is the mother of Rodney Reed, who is an innocent man on Texas death row, has been here since I joined this organization. You are such a fighter, and I just want to invite you to come up and tell your story.
Glad to be back, and yes, I'm from the belly of the beast, Texas. I like to tell you a story. I'm sure most of you have heard the story, but some of you haven't. In April 1996, a young lady that was engaged to a police officer by the name of Stacy Sykes was found on a county road murdered. A couple of months later, a man by the name of David Lawhorn confessed to the murder. The public believed that the murder was solved. A few months later, it was said that David Lawhorn recanted. A few months after that, a policeman named Ed Samella, one of the first initial investigators at the crime scene, committed suicide, supposedly. Less than a month after his death, the sheriff, Fred Hoskin, resigned. A month later, an officer by the name of Richard Hernandez ran for sheriff with no one running against him. He stated in the papers if he was elected, he would find the murder of Stacy Sykes. 2 months after being in office, in April 1997, a year after Stacy's death, the sheriff came to my home looking for Rodney. Rodney wasn't home. I asked the sheriff what was the charge. He said a sealed indictment. Well, we all knew no such thing. He made a dibble and dabbled in it, but he was not a dope dealer. When Rodney came home, I took him to the police station about 4:30 in the evening. The next morning, Rodney said that 2 Texas Rangers came to his cell about 5 in the morning. They wanted a vial of his blood. Rodney declined. The Rangers left and came back with 2 more Texas Rangers. About 10 a.m. the same morning, the local news reported that Bastrop County Sheriff had arrested the killer of Stacy Sykes. That was the beginning of my nightmare. 2 months after Rodney's arrest, during a pre-trial, I was called to the stand and was asked by prosecutor Lisa Tanner, did I know Stacy Sykes? I said, yes, of course I knew Stacy Sykes. She had been to my home many a times to pick Rodney up. We took a 15-minute break. When we returned, myself and a bail bonds lady were placed under a gag order. Not to talk to anyone about this case, not to the media, anyone. You see, the bail bonds lady had seen Rodney and Stacy together, and she had a long statement, which was never used, and she was never called. While waiting for trial, which was 1 year later, 2 years after Stacy's death, I still could not contradict the accusers. At the beginning, Rodney had a paid lawyer, but we could not no longer afford him. So he was appointed 2 people of color by the state, Calvin Garvey and Lydia Clay Jackson. I really think that was a tactic to comfort us, put us in a comfort zone, and keep us calm. By the time trial, Stacy had 28 suspects by the time trial began. Rodney's lawyer was armed with alibi witnesses that could verify his relationship with Stacy. I should have been called. None of the critical witnesses were called. They called 2 people and they tried to discredit them. When I asked Calvin Garvey why wasn't he calling the witnesses, they had taken off work every day to testify. His reply was he was trying to save this boy's